Hey there. Trying to find and mute my own stream here, so in case there are any comments, I can jump right in. Well, it's one of the holidays that means very little to me. I'm not sure why. I just don't care about beer day, but I'll have a beer. Like, I'm sure there's some Irish in me. I'm not sure really. I think stupid long hair. I feel like I've heard British and Scottish before, but I do like me a beer. Now, where did I leave my vape? I also like me a vape. Where did I leave that at? Again, another very ill thought out, not well prepared live stream. But I've come to decide that I guess that's what this is. It's just a ill thought out talking to the camera. And if I'm going to sit here and have a beer by myself because Michelle's at work, I may as well do that with the internet, right? Hey, what's up, Jesse? See, you caught me when I was actually live. Now tell me what to do so that it could be entertaining. What you got? What are you doing on this Day of Saints and Patrick? Let's see. I was trying to figure out a nice, easy way to have the. I did not stay for the parade. I popped up there for about, I don't know, as long as we could stand it, maybe 20 minutes or so with the kids, and got some food things, and just kind of wanted to show Michelle support and go up there for her. She's helping set up all that stuff. And yeah, as soon as we were done with the obligation of like doing what we wanted to do anyways, which was go up there and just kind of see what was on offer, ran into some people right away that were like, "Oh, watch your channel and stuff," and it's always fun. But my wife goes, "Who's that?" And I'm like, "I don't know. I'm sorry, I don't know everybody." Sometimes people are just like, "Hey, it's you," and I'm like, "Yep, that's me." So no, I didn't stay for the parade. That's one of those things that, like, a few years back, somebody suggested that we just abstain from the parades, and for a while there, that was kind of the way to go about it because it was easier that way, and you kind of didn't have to participate. But once Michelle kind of got in the picture, it was more fun to go to these things, and I like doing that just to kind of be around her. But tonight I don't have the kids and she's freezing already. Maybe I'll pop up there, but I'm finding more and more that I'm not interested in running into other people. Not, and I don't mean that like people that watch. I mean like people I know. I'd rather not run into out in public. Like it's easier to just kind of do your own thing and have your own space. Let's see, what's Jesse up to? Not a lot. I didn't even realize it was St. Patrick's Day until about 45 minutes ago. Right. The only reason I knew is because I was planning my outfit, and the outfit was going to be green today. And Michelle, found this for me in Florida. So I knew today was going to be the day that I busted it out for the first time. I've had the pants for a really long time, all the way back to one of our Michelle and I cooking live streams on Facebook years ago in the basement. But I never had anything to match the green pants, and now I finally have at least the green t-shirt. I would love the green jacket to go with it, but for now, just green head to toe. Seriously, like the socks are not the right color green, but it's close enough. I kind of feel like the Grinch. Lauren Post said we didn't stay either. It was cold. Yeah, it was very cold. Like, this is not a holiday that's worth suffering for, is it? Check this out. beer at home. You know, like I have a heater on, a little space heater. The house is set at 67 already. Still need a space heater. I'm type 1 diabetic. My appendages get cold. It is what it is. Look, I try to be festive. AF or not, I try to be festive, and I'm still waiting for the full pink one. If I had had those pink pants that I just got recently on Valentine's Day, would have been rocking it. Again, I make this plea to Adidas. First of all, is there like a Charlie and the Chocolate Factory style version of this where I can just come there with my entire tracksuit collection and show them to you, and you can take me through the warehouse and show me the room that has a million of that same outfit and different, with all the different accessories that go with it, because I want that. I want that tour. I don't know how much it costs, but I would like to take it, please. I have so many tracksuits that have just the pants. Or recently, I found myself buying lots of ladies' pants because they have nice color options. Excuse me, that beer's already getting to me. Whereas the men's options are usually just like navy blue, red, green. I mean, green. But, they're kind of basic. And then I see the women's, and it's a rainbow cornucopia of beautiful color options. But all of the shirts are like short crop top looking things. And I tried it. It just doesn't work. But what is wrong with just making pink tracksuits or purple tracksuits? But the whole thing. None of this, here's a cool pair of pants but no top to go with it. Or here's an awesome top like the Simpsons one and then not make any pants to go with it. Don't ever. Sorry, just a little rant. Finishing up part 1 of the Taft video. And by finishing up, I mean I've gone through it 7 times, and now I'm going back through and trimming down to what I deem to be absolutely essential, and using that mantra of like, is it moving the story forward or whatever? Because I hit my second set of drone shots, and I'm already kind of bored. I'm like, how do I get through this quicker? How do I keep my own attention as I'm editing it? So know that if there's a video that you want out and it's not out yet, that it's because I'm a perfectionist and I have ideas in my head, but I don't know how to make them happen on the screen yet. And I'll sit with it forever until it's the way I want it to be. And I don't mean like I'll over nitpick it, just like I can't even get started on something unless I know exactly where I'm going with it. So what's everybody in the chat doing for St. Patrick's Day? I guess we're all hanging out inside. I still don't know how this chat thing works. It seems to be live, but it's also kind of not. I'm just going to make a prediction. At some point, I'm going to have to get up and go get another beer. So what I'll do is I'll put my microphone over in front of Echo, who's snoring, when that happens, and just let you listen to her snore. Maybe it's like ASMR. DONTEVA ASMR. Just get the dog to work on that for us. So beyond wearing green today and having a beer, what else is this supposed to be about? Like, what did St. Patrick... Okay, now I'm going to Google. Jesse says, I've done nothing today except watch the latest episode of The Ones Who Live. No spoilers yet. Michelle's working 11 to 11 today, hence me having time to do another live stream. Just I'm just sitting here. I'm like, why not? We will be watching The Ones Who Live when she returns. Should I talk about that? I mean, because the reality is this. I'm going to end up talking about it by myself. So is that entertaining enough? Because I won't have anybody challenging me. Do I have to sit there and like challenge myself to try to talk through all options? Is that stupid when it's one person? Am I asking myself too many questions and answering them already? Lauren says, Yes, it's a whole lot warmer. It was a real honor to meet you today. Well, that's ridiculous. I appreciate that, but um, I'm just somebody with a camera that's talking on the internet. I'm happy that anybody finds any joy out of anything that I do or finds any value out of any of it because it brings me joy and value in my own head. So it doing that to anybody else is ideal. That's the goal, right? Like I don't know that I've ever mentioned it on here, but what I would like to do is be able to move people with my videos. Like I watch something like my favorite show Lost and I'm sobbing, or I mean even something as simple as This Is Us. I feel like that's a little more sappy side where it's kind of easier to pull at the heartstrings, but if you watch the proposal and the wedding video and all that stuff, like that stuff should, whether you know me or not, that should get you crying. And like those are the kinds of videos that like mean something to me. So I hope to make more stuff like that. That's the kind of thing that I would like to achieve with this channel. Um, Stuff that you could get emotionally connected to. And I don't know how to let you get emotionally connected to me or any of the crap going on with my personal life, but in terms of, and that sounded negative. I don't mean anything bad going on in my personal life. Just like any of the personal details may not be of interest to everybody. So, I'm open to just making crap. Okay, Lauren, I'm gonna have to sit up into the shadows for this one. Okay, lost in time would make us time travelers. I'm joking with you, but that's my way of trying to get people to not say lost in time. It's lost to time. The reason being the structures have been just that. They've been lost to time. Yes, that is me and Big Tone and Charlie Burgess and all the other guys. Paul, Steel City Storm, Midwest Flesh, Ronaldo, Charles Haley. I'm trying to think of other people that go out with us. Sawyer recently. Yeah, we are lost to time. Like I said, I'm working on Lost to Time Taft Middle School. I mean, that's more of a technicality. I guess it's not really lost to time. They closed it down and tore it down. So I got shots of that and went inside and checked it out for a little bit. Right. Okay. So the consensus, I say consensus, Jesse says that I should discuss The Ones Who Live, which I want to because I find myself after these episodes wanting to talk about the stuff that happened in it, or even during. Michelle and I will just pause it and start having a conversation. I don't know if it's legal to stream us watching the episode and talk during our pauses because it would probably be copywritten or copyright audio. Speaking of audio, is this mic working okay? Ryan Melton doing. DONTEVA here, greeting Ryan in the chat. Just sitting here having a beer on St. Patrick's Day. Ryan, what are you up to? Any cool adventuring stuff lately? Like, I always like your posts. I mean, I guess technically I do because you see that I thumbs them up or whatever, but I always like seeing other people out and about still getting it. Okay, so back to the Ones Who Live real quick. Said if you schedule it ahead of time and people know when you're going live to discuss it, you'll have people in the chat to help keep the discussion going. Okay, well, that's fair enough. So if I put out there, I'm going to discuss it on a certain day, roughly around a certain time, that should be good enough. And then it's just like, okay, I mean, maybe the day after, maybe tomorrow. It could be tomorrow. Yeah, I told you. Like, this is where we're at with the channel. I'm just going to be straightforward. There's 3 people in the chat. That's it. So if you're one of the 3, you have as loud of a voice. You have 1/3 as loud of a voice as anybody else that could in the chat. At the moment, Jesse is the consensus in terms of The Ones Who Live and whether I do How to Watch TV or things of the sort. I feel like this is not very flattering, like, seating-wise. I wanted to use the... Oops, I'm not talking to the mic here, am I? What happened there? Oh, it lost the focus. Oh, hey, welcome back. That was a nice rack focus there. Yeah, the consensus, it can be one person. You can be in the consensus if you'd like. It's like the inner circle. Oh yeah, that's right. I came here to have a beer. Okay, so can anybody inform me on what St. Patrick's Day is about? Or are you going to make me Google stuff myself? Because I will. Don't threaten me with a good time. I'd like us to discuss what St. Patrick's Day is actually about. Like, who is this guy? And what's so special about him? What did he do to be a saint? I know they say, like, St. George killed the last dragon, but that was a really long time ago. So, does it really matter anymore? Is it really that important? The dragons are gone either way. Nowadays, they'd be mad. Let's see here. Yep, it doesn't look like anybody's going to help me out on this one, so I'm going to have to look up what St. Patrick's Day is about. Let's see. What is... Okay, let's see. What is St. Patrick's Day? I don't want surprising facts about it. I just want to know what it is. Unbelievable, Internet. Just try to stay focused. I am the one with ADD here. St. Patrick's Day, or the Feast of St. Patrick. Okay, well, this has already taken a turn that I was not expecting. I did not realize they ate St. Patrick. Is a religious cultural holiday on 17 March. Okay, we're already tangenting. But why are we so stubborn that we say March 17th? Like, what sense does that make? Logically speaking, why is it not 17 March? 17 March 2024. Like, that's lowest to highest. What is this middle, lowest, high shit that we do? Let's see. Anybody have any comments before I continue? Oh, good. We don't know anything about St. Patrick. The consensus is we don't know anything about St. Patrick's Day. Well, welcome to St. Patrick's School. Let's see. Oh, it was held on 17 March, the traditional death date of St. Patrick, the foremost patron saint of Ireland. The foremost patron saint. Okay, let's continue. St. Patrick's Day was made an official Christian feast day in the early 70s. I haven't had shit to eat today. Nobody has ever told me that St. Patrick's Day is supposed to be about food. Am I the only one who's slightly angry about that? No, nobody's mentioned food before. That's ridiculous. Does anybody else know about food on St. Patrick's Day? Oops, I'm going to have to mute that. That's this live stream. Trying to open up another phone so I can monitor the chat while I continue to read things here. Well, I don't know about corned beef being a thing. Like, for St. Patrick's Day specifically, it's not a food item that I have any interest in and never have, so I don't really even know when you're supposed to eat it. It could be. That's a very distinct possibility. The consensus seems to be that it is. Let's see. Sorry. So it was a feast day. The day commemorates St. Patrick and the arrival of Christianity in Ireland, and by extension celebrates the heritage and culture of the Irish in general. Celebrations generally involve public parades and festivals and the wearing of green attire or shamrocks. Christians who belong to liturgical denominations also attend church services, and historically the Lenten restrictions on eating and drinking alcohol were lifted for the day, which has encouraged and propagated the holiday's tradition of alcohol consumption. Okay, so they're saying, like, you're supposed to not be doing these things in general. So we're gonna like let you off for the day. So everybody's like, wait a minute, we got a day pass. So they just went absolutely apeshit with it and just made it about the drinking. Let's see. Another comment here from Lauren Post. I know their flag is a flag of heart. In Ireland, they do not eat corned beef and cabbage. They eat pork chops. Okay. Again, is this day about food? Because I'll go buy some damn pork chops. I would have had some in the crock pot already. I don't know why nobody's telling me these things. I was having this feeling the other night. At what point do we know things that it seemed like our parents knew? Well, you taught me something. I should know these things. I'm Irish. Well, I don't know that I am or am not, so I'm not going to put my foot in there. I'm just going to leave that one. But there's certain things that I felt like my parents knew, and it felt like they always knew them. And I still feel like I don't know all of those things. Like when road work's being done, or I'm trying to think of other examples. Like how to fix stuff. Like how do they know these things? And at what age and in what institution are we taught these things? I saw something on Facebook or Instagram or something today where it was like, if you boil hot water and then throw loose hair ties into the boiling pot of hot water, it shrinks the hair ties back to normal. I've been throwing them away. Nobody told me that was an option, to reuse a hair tie that had been stretched out. I thought that was just, it outlived its elasticity. But no, people know these things. Why don't I know them? Do I have to watch I can't believe I didn't know this till I was 30 guy to be able to get knowledge? Why did we not get taught this stuff in school? Okay, there's a few comments now. I can stop ranting. Let's see here. Her Jessie's maiden name is McManus. Okay. Oh, I'm always looking for a more adulty adult to tell me what I'm supposed to be doing. You and me both. I'll tell you what. And that's exactly it. Growing up, there was somebody there to be like, here's what you're supposed to be doing today. And whether I wanted to be doing it or not, I knew that I was supposed to be. Because I believed wholeheartedly that my parents knew what I should be doing. And based on their lives, they have their shit together. And they know what life for me is supposed to look like. So, fine. You tell me I got to do this thing, I'll do the thing. Now, was it that easy? No, I was a pain in the ass, I'm sure. And did not make it easy for them. But in retrospect, I appreciate all the advice I got over the years. It's the stuff that informs my day-to-day decision-making in terms of raising my own kids, or just morality in general. What do I think my parents at my age would have put up with or tolerated, or how would they have reacted to a situation, is usually my first thought before I react to something. Now, I'm a crazy person, so I still do just get mad sometimes and lose my shit, but I'm trying not to do that as much anymore. I don't know if you've noticed a slightly calmer Joel in the vlog since it returned. I don't know that comes across, but maybe. Even just little things like less cursing. I just feel like I kind of cringe at some of my old episodes and wonder who I was trying to prove that I was cool to besides myself. I think my parents really didn't know what they were doing either. Right, that's the thing. They didn't know what they were doing, but the perception was that they knew what they were doing, and I feel like I can't even keep up that facade. Because every day it's like, well, I'm supposed to figure out something for Sawyer to do or River to do. Now, River is easy to find stuff to do, but I can hardly plan my own day as an adult with ADD and a million excuses, and distractions constantly. I don't know what I'm supposed to be doing every day. As I just mentioned, there's nobody here to tell me what I'm supposed to be doing. So how the hell am I supposed to tell my kids what they're supposed to be doing? Now, you do, but I don't feel like I have the same structure or provide the same structure that they had or that I had to them. Like my dad would not let me sleep in on a weekend. Not that my kids really sleep in, but he'd be up there playing the guitar to wake me and my friends up. That's not who I am. I'm not going to do that. I'd rather let them have a good time, etc. Which one is more preparing them for the real world? I don't know. I try to treat Sawyer just 100% normal because that's how the world is going to treat him. But I don't know what I'm doing. Oh, your parents faked it better than you do? Well, yeah. You know why? Because they didn't have social media that was showing, and that's not me villainizing social media. I just mean in terms of they didn't have an outlet to vent their anger to where it would be preserved for all of us to go read and see what not perfect people they are. Most parents learn from their parents, which learn from their parents. Today's parents are all working. They don't have time to teach. Well, I'm today's parents, and I am rarely working. I mean, I'm doing my daily job stuff, but I'm not in the office anymore, and I'm doing video work far less frequently than I would like, if I'm honest. But a couple times a month, I got all the time in the world. I just unfortunately don't have the kids full time. I have the kids, I think it's 43% of the time, which is ridiculous, especially considering all of the details surrounding the separation. It's asinine that that's where we landed, but that's where we're at. So you want to hear the ridiculous schedule? The kids were here every Tuesday, Saturday, and Sunday during the divorce proceedings. And then somewhere along the way, it was like, well, I want every other weekend. The mother wanted every other weekend. And it was like, okay, well, I get those 2 days back then somewhere. So it ended up being Tuesday, and then Friday at 6 p.m. to Sunday at 6 p.m. That's the weekend. And then because I'm not going to have them the following weekend, I get them Monday. I get them Tuesday like I would normally get them. They go back Wednesday, go to school Wednesday morning, and then I get them Friday right after school, or if there's no school at 10 a.m., and they stay till Saturday at 10 a.m., and then I don't have them again until Tuesday. You try to keep up with that schedule and make plans. I'm 100% used to it, but it makes it difficult to as you're saying, nobody has time for the kids. I don't have enough time with them to do the proper, I'm going to be there as a consistent force parenting. I don't know why I'm talking about all this, but let's see. Also, I didn't have much time to get advice from my mom. My dad died when I was 17. My mom died when I was 27. Well, thanks so much. This is Fun Happy Hour with Joel and Jesse. I'm sorry to hear that, Jesse. That's shit. Like, you got dealt a garbage hand on that. If I had only had till 17 and 27 with them respectively like that, I would be a much different person. I think even just for the aspect of having to quote unquote make them proud, like just that being in the back of your mind, that would be gone if they were gone from such a young age. Like by now I wouldn't be thinking about, oh, what would I need to do? Oh, I got to make sure I behave in a way that doesn't reflect poorly, but I do think that way. And I attribute that to them being around. So yeah, I know a few people who have lost their parents young or even relatively recently, and it's, yeah, I keep looking at my own kids and going, how is River going to be 10 this year? Like, how is she going to be nearly to the age where Lena turned against me? I mean, I got like 3-4 years, but not looking forward to that. Like, Sawyer is there, but he is more malleable than Lena was, and like I can bring him back from the brink of being snarky or a moody teenager. Let's see. You can't. There's no way, because when they're in school, you're not seeing them. Well, you're right. I'm not seeing them, but neither would their mother be if it was like a Monday, for example. So I get them after. I just pick them up from the bus stop, and then they're here, and I get them off to school the next day. So it's as much as any parent would have them on that day if they're in school. But I take your point. Yeah. Thanks, Jesse, for bringing down the tone. I mean, the consensus is we're depressed. So let's keep drinking. I'm gonna have to. Oh no, I finished my beer. Can you guys like hang out for a second while I go get another beer real quick? Thank you. I'm gonna do like I said. I'm gonna put this. I don't know if you were here for this. I'm gonna go set the microphone next to Echo, who's snoring. I'm not gonna turn the camera, but just hang out for like 45 seconds, maybe a minute. Okay, sorry about that. I mean, that wasn't too terrible, right? What happened here? Okay, let's see. Is her name Echo or Echo? Lost reference or no? Oh, that is a good question. Give me 1 second to open my beer. Now, you may think I pour a beer incorrectly, and you may be right, but I like it that way because it gets all the fuzzy, foamy stuff out, the carbonation. Let's see. So, Echo. This one is a bit of a deep cut. It's not Echo from Lost, surprisingly. Echo is a female dog that I have. So I had to come up with a female name. I very, very much wanted to name her something after Lost, but that was not the show I was watching at the time. I mean, it was, but there was another show I was watching at the time called Dollhouse, and the main character was named Echo. And if you have not seen Dollhouse from Fox, there were 2 seasons of it. The finale of each season was like, to me at the time, mind-blowing stuff, like compared to what the show was. So I would check that out. But that's where Echo came from. I mean, that's not where Echo came from. She came from a farm in Lowell, I believe, as did Ivy and Max. Echo being the sole survivor at the moment. Hold on, we got some more people in the chat. Okay, first of all, Paul, you didn't have to leave your brother's live stream. So apparently Midwest Flesh is doing a live stream as well. Paul says, I left my brother's live stream and I'm in the middle of eating tacos, but I had to make sure I dropped in to show you that I support what's going. You know, Paul's one of the nicest guys because he's one of those people that goes out of his way to be kind and supportive, and it just makes me so angry. Let's see. Okay, we got a little side chat here. Lauren Post is asking Steel City Storm, what are you up to? He's eating tacos and making me feel like a bad person. Let's see. Jesse, you've never heard of it? Yes, check it out. It's a cool premise. It's Elijah Dushku and a bunch of other people that you'll probably know from other things. It's a really cool. I think Summer Glau is in it. Possibly, I can't remember. But yeah, I think you'll like it. It's like, I don't want to spoil too much, but they kind of give it away. Just watch the trailer on YouTube, if nothing else, and tell me what you think if it looks half decent. What Fox did was they screwed it up by making there's a different order to watch it in, I guess. Fox made them do these like standalone episodes where they were self-contained, and it was more of an overarching show. And once they let it be that, it became so much more than the standalone episodes. Like the case of the week kind of a situation was what it felt like, kind of like Fringe. Anyways, just watch the thing. I won't bore everybody with that. Let's see. Oh, Paul did not leave his live stream. He was still streaming, and I went to eat, and then I seen you came on, and he was off the air. He uses words like "I seen." Yeah, we're all making the rounds tonight, okay? It's because I love you, you're my friend, Paul says. Again, just making me feel like a terrible person by comparison. Yes, I love you too, Paul. I saw things saying normalize saying I love you to your friends. I do that already. That's a thing. Big Tone started doing that recently too. Just dropping in "I love you" every time we get off the phone, and it's appealing. I like it. Don't get me talking about Lost to Time movie. That's not a thing. He's meaning Lost, the show Lost, but he thinks the show is called Lost to Time, but that's my show that I do on YouTube. Yes, Fringe was amazing. What do you mean I'll never shut up about it? I don't talk about Lost to Time that much. Steel City Storm, bracelet search, merch search. I'm the self-promoting guy. No, Lost is awesome, and if you haven't watched it, how can you say you're my friend? You can say all the nice love yous you want, but if you have not bothered to one episode an evening or every time you watch TV to throw on an episode of Lost and see what is Joel talking about, why is this show inspirational to him, then I'm going to have to rescind all those lovely things I said about you. Let's see. Paul, I'm from Gary. That's how I talk. Stop making fun of me. Unlikely. Let's see. Show. Oh, yeah. You watched Lost. You watched the whole series of Lost, or did you watch 2 episodes and decide I'm too cool for this? You just tell me. I just want to know. I'm just curious. Let's see. Yeah, Paul. Yeah, this is... I was pulling your strings on your live chat. You get it. You watched 6 episodes and you stopped. You watched past the Locke episode and you stopped. Okay, well, that ends our live stream for the evening. No, let's see. Yeah, Jesse, the consensus says Lost is incredible. You see that, Paul, in the chat? The consensus. Lost is incredible. You're the problem. It's you. It's always been you. The fact that 6 episodes. Jesse, I wish I could wipe Lost from my memory so I could experience it all over again. I've had that thought many times, and then I thought, but there's so many things that we wouldn't get to experience this time through because everything's out there already. So I don't know that we would get the same thing out of it. Maybe that's why people like Paul are not into it, because they don't get what it was at the time. Did you watch it live or did you binge it? I'm going to feel like an idiot if you binged it. Let's see. Exactly. There's no way you watch past Walkabout and then quit at watching the show. DONTEVA. I was going to watch the series, but then I got high. You know what, Paul? It is not time for cultural references. You are not Afro Man. You binged it. You binged it? I feel like we've had this conversation before. When did you binge it? You didn't... I just can't believe that people didn't watch the show when it was on. I guess everybody's not as old as me. That's the problem. You are not Afro Storm. You definitely binge. We're not talking about binge and purge, Paul. I know that's how you've lost all this weight recently. Binge and purge. That's what he does. He goes on live stream. People pay him to get shit-faced, and then he pukes it all up and loses the weight. It's a really good scheme. I'm going to have to pull that one myself. You're not the Afro Storm. I'm not going to call you that. I barely even call you the Steel City Storm. Let's see. Hell yeah, man, that's a good way to go. A good way to go. What are you, waking me up before? Have I been drinking this beer and I didn't even fill the rest of it up? I'm like, how am I so low on this beer already? I know people probably don't like the meta stuff, but I feel like this live stream's a little bit better than the last one. I feel like there's been a little more purpose to it. I at least knew what I was going to talk about when I came on here, St. Patrick's Day. We've gotten very, very briefly into what St. Patrick's Day is. Paul, do you have any thoughts on St. Patrick's Day? Being Irish yourself, what are your thoughts on St. Patrick's Day? What is it? What is the point? Let's see. I'm 39. I didn't watch while it was live. We're talking about Lost again here because I was an asshole and didn't watch because I figured it was overhyped. How did that apply to Game of Thrones? Did you give that one a gander on its first run through on the old TV box there? Or did you put that one on hold as well? Did Game of Thrones get the pass that Lost didn't? Let's see. Let's see. Yeah, Paul, you don't even call me Stormy. You've always called me Paul. That is correct. Jesse, when I finally watched it, I was so pissed at myself for actively choosing not to watch it while it aired. Well, you've got another one retroactively pissed at you for not watching it while it aired for that stupid reasoning. Don't ever. Dumb, as I would say on the podcast. That is a dumb reason to not have watched a show. You can always try it. Here's my advice to people out there that hear about this newfangled show, whatever it is, and you're like, it's overhyped. Watch it and decide for yourself. Maybe it's not overhyped. Maybe it's just that good. Let's see. I swear to God, if you start talking about Game of Thrones, I'm leaving right now. I'm only talking about Game of Thrones in as much as I bet you Jesse watched that one without putting that on delay because it was overhyped. And that was the most overhyped shit of all time, especially considering the ending. Let's see. Jesse, I watched Lost in 2017. Didn't watch Game of Thrones until after it was over. Son of a bitch. You know what? Now you're just circumventing all my rants, and I don't like it. Because I was feeling pretty good about that one. I was feeling really good about zinging you on that stuff, and you didn't watch Game of Thrones. Look, Paul, you can say Harry Potter like I'm some Harry Potter geek, but I have never made it past like the second movie. I don't think I've even made it through the second movie. And the first one, it's taken me like 4 or 5 tries with Michelle to get through. I can't sit still and watch a movie for that long unless it's like riveting, and I'm sorry, it's not. I wish it were. I wish it were. Harry Potter, it's never done anything for me. I wish it did. I would love to enjoy Harry Potter, but the stuff seems very childish, and that's okay. That's the audience. It's like when Miss Marvel came out, and it was like, I am not the target audience for this. And that's okay. It doesn't mean it's bad. It just means that's not for me. I guess I should check the chat again here. What do we got? Also didn't start watching Walking Dead until season 6 or 7 was airing. That I'll give you a pass on. Even though you jumped in at like the time when the show was floundering, it felt like. Or is that... I'm not sure. I can't even remember when it was floundering. Are you all... You must be all caught up on that now. I guess that would have been good. Because the first like 3-4 seasons were really good. And to be able to have binged through those would have probably been nice. But then stopping mid-season 6 or 7... yeah, that would be kind of a bummer. Was that around the We Are the Walking Dead speech? You know who I miss on that show? Shane. Shane from The Walking Dead was like my favorite. Just the way he talked and the way that... it was great. let's see. The Harry. It has more made-up words than I do, and I cannot deal with it. That's Steel City Storm. There. That's Paul. Harry Potter has too many big words for him. The children's book that J.K. Rowling wrote for her kids initially. That one's got too many made-up words for Paul. You've seen his videos. If you haven't, check them out. He doesn't make up words ever. His vocabulary is spot on. Let's see. Jesse, I'm a Harry Potter geek, but the books, not necessarily the movies. Oh, look at me. I can read books and focus and remember what I just read on the page. Whoop-de-doo. Yeah, I can't do that. I've read 1.5 books as an adult, and it's the Annihilation series or whatever it's called. I read the first book on the toilet on iBooks on my phone, because anytime I pick up a book, as much as I'm interested in the subject matter, within 2 or 3 pages, I'm not remembering anything that I already read, and I'm falling asleep. So, unfortunately, I need the visual medium to shove the information down my throat, through my eyes, so that I can understand what the movie is about. But good for you, showing off that you read books. Bravo. We're all very proud of you. Paul, can you read books? Who's ever going to watch this back? I'm just talking to the people in the chat. Oh, unbelievable. No, I mean, I love the idea of books. I have a bunch of books. I'm not shitting on book reading. I think what it is that I'm jealous that I don't have the attention span for it, or the cognitive reasoning to be able to sit there and interpret what's said in text and not get distracted by the font or something. Let's see. Paul, Eastbound and Down with Kenny Powers was my jams. Okay. I love what I throw big words at Joel and I mess them up on purpose just to see his face. Yeah, I mean, you're right. My dad taught me to be a grammar Nazi, and just if you're going to speak properly. And especially, and here's the key point, Paul, and here's why you always get me on it every time, and you probably still will zing me in the future with it. Damn it. If you're going to talk confidently, speak confidently, like you know what you're talking about, especially then speak properly. And your biggest thing is speaking confidently and not properly sometimes. And yes, that is one of my triggers. Yeah, no, it's not my dad's. It's my rule now. That's what I'm saying. I have become my father in that regard. I will always bust people's balls for speaking improperly. Like River says Valentine's Day, and it's adorable, but there are not times that are Valen. You know what? I'm going to go back to more stuff about St. Patrick here. Let's see. St. Patrick's Day is a public holiday in the Republic of Ireland, Northern Ireland, and Canadian province. Is it just going to tell us everywhere? It's listing the places that it's a holiday. Who gives a shit? It's celebrated in more countries than any other national festival. Why? What? Look at us. We're St. Patrick's. We're celebrated in more countries than any other festival. That's not an impressive stat. I'm not impressed by your stats. Okay, let's see. Modern celebrations have been greatly influenced by those of the Irish diaspora, particularly those that developed in North America. However, there has been criticism of St. Patrick's Day celebrations for having become too commercialized and for fostering negative stereotypes of Irish people. Shall we learn what St. Patrick did? Who he was? What do we got here, Paul? I see some comments in the chat here. I always thought it was Valentine's Day, too. It is Valentine's Day, not Valentine's. Times. It's tines. I don't know what a tine is, but it's Valens. Tine. Uh-oh. Shit. Well, there goes my battery. Hold on, let me switch batteries. We got no video at the moment. All right. And we're back. I'm hoping that it's still streaming. My camera died, and I forgot to have a... I mean, I have continuous power. Why I didn't use it, I have no idea. Let's see. Somebody was talking, I'm pretty sure. Let's see. Okay, time to hit the shower and get ready to crash out. He's all yours, everybody. Please be gentle with him and do not mispronounce any words. Yep. Yeah, all that shit talking about you, Paul, and I bet you your camera's never died during a live stream. How long have I been doing this? It doesn't even tell me. It doesn't even say. How long has this been going on, people? Are we bored of me yet? Oh, I still have half a beer to have. Well, 3/4. Michelle's not off work until 11, so I literally have nothing going on here. This is my way of getting out of finalizing the Taft video right now. I've even picked out music for it and everything. Oh, okay. I can segue. I can always segue. What equipment do I use to film? Well, normally I'd have a second camera here. Right now I'm using the camera that I use to film, surprisingly. I have a Lumix or Panasonic GH6. I started with a GH5 in 2021 when I started working for 27 Entertainment. They had Panasonic GH6s laying around and all this fancy crap to make it where it would be lower f-stops and all this. I don't know how much you know about cameras, but they had all these things that it was like, well, let's rig it to use a Canon lens. And I'm just like, well, what if I just get a lens that's meant for this camera? And so I started finding these small lenses for it, these prime lenses where it's only one, it's not a zoom lens, you know, and with low f-stops, which means the nice blur in the background. And I kind of got hooked into the system by the time they announced the GH6 in 2022, 2021, one of those years, 2022. I immediately bought that and ended up buying a second one as well. And currently I'm using a Sigma 30mm f1.4 lens with my GH6 and the Rode Wireless Go Pro or Wireless Pro mics. That's what this is. I just have it on a little stick. And I use an ND filter, a variable ND filter, so I can twist it and make it lighter or darker depending on the lighting situation. I mean, that's pretty much it. I use two GH6s with different lenses depending on, mostly Olympus lenses. They're all these little, crap, where are they at? Hold on one second. Okay, so I found 3 lenses here. I have this one, which is my most expensive lens and my least favorite, which is annoying because I paid like $700 for this lens, which is not a lot for a lens. Makes a noise. This is a... Okay, so I have to go one layer deeper here. Not that anybody's this interested, but I have a micro 4/3 sensor on my camera. They have what they call a full frame sensor, and I have micro 4/3, which is a fraction of a full frame sensor or something. So my lenses and all that shit is smaller. So I have to double the focal length on any lens. So for example, this is a 45, but that's like a 90. So this is like almost like an 85mm lens. Why is this shaking? What is making noise in this lens? I don't remember it making noise like that before. That's not ideal. Huh, okay, well that's worrying. Anyways, this is my macro lens so that I can get ridiculously close-up shots. Usually to be used for only when I'm shooting the ring at a wedding or detail shots. Other than that, it was an utter waste of money. This is the same lens. Oh, that's a 2.8, by the way. This is a 45, but it's a 1.8, so it has better like blur, better background blur. I love this lens. This one is great if you don't want to be right up on somebody. As long as you have room to back up a little bit, it'll be a nice like right in their face lens. And then this is my 35. It's a 17 millimeter, so it's 34 whatever. It's just a little bit more zoomed in than like an iPhone one-time zoom. That's about a 20, 24, 26. And my other lens that I let my brother Sam borrow is a 12 millimeter, which is like a 24, which is like your phone. That's my vlog lens. That was another expensive one. I mean, $600 expensive. My camera gear is like, I mean, the body for the camera was like $21.99 when I bought it brand new. I bought another one refurbished or, returned, open box, etc. Just the body for like $12.99 a year later. I do not have really expensive gear. It's just taking the time to customize all the settings inside it. My goal when I'm shooting something is that I want it to look like real life. I just want it to look like it does when you're in the room. And I'm not a big fan of making things look certain, I mean, like I'll do something that's stylized, but I'm not going to try to make something that looks like The Joker or Breaking Bad, where it's like all washed out and you're in the desert, or, I'm not trying to do fancy stylized colors. I just want to reflect reality. That's kind of my nature as a documentarian, I think, though. Oh shit, let's see if we got any chat here. Let's see. Paul loves me. Okay, good night, Paul. Whatever. Lauren Post, what do you guys all take care, Joel? Like I said, it was nice seeing you today. Storm, have a great evening, etc. So, Jesse, I know a little. I have a Canon and a handful of lenses. I've been trying to learn more about photography and videography. It's slow going. I'm not the most tech savvy. I'd love to up the quality of my YouTube videos. I've been on YouTube for nearly a decade, and I still feel like I have no idea what I'm doing in terms of editing and lighting and sound quality. Well, I don't know if I mentioned this, Jesse, or if you watch my vlog, but I am a podcast producer / social media producer. Like, I can show you how to take the gear you already have or help you upgrade your gear and lighting and give tips for audio and things like that so that you can up your game. So, MrDon'tEva at gmail.com. Feel free to hit me up if you ever want to, have me come help you, for real. I could help you set up your thing. Like, this is what I do. And why, if you're willing to be a paid member, I may as well. I'm not putting that as a perk, by the way. I will not do house visits as a perk if you sign up. But Jesse, if you need me to help you set up your social media stuff, I could show you how to use your gear to better effect, or let you know what holes you might have in your current setup that you might need to fill and how so. Why did I close this? Yeah, lighting and sound quality are things that have become really important to me. When I go exploring nowadays, I have to bring all my gear, and Charlie is always like busting my balls going, wasn't it fine with the phone on the Osmo? And yeah, it was fine, but one thing I don't like watching anymore is stuff with bad audio and bad lighting, and now I can control all that stuff so much better with it not being auto the way it was on the phone, and also miking people, or even having my shotgun mic to be able to point it at the person I want to hear what they're saying. But to watch some of the old stuff is a little frustrating in terms of people saying really cool shit in the background and you not being able to hear it well. So I'm a big proponent of, if you take a little bit of extra time, like this shot looked like garbage before I started it. It's not a great shot right here, but it's not the most interesting looking shot, but it looked terrible before I put two lights up. Like, I have lights right here. Like, this is a light. See? Like, and then I got another one on this side. Because I'm a professional, and I want this to look good. I probably ruined the lighting now, but because I had it set up when I was, able to adjust it and look at it off camera. But, all of this stuff is important. At least to me. I really enjoy making things look as good as they can. Let's see. Do we have anything else on this chat? I don't know if you've seen any of my videos. You'd cringe. It's not great. The content's interesting to the right audience, but the quality not so much. Okay. So again, I pitch my services in terms of coming over for an hour or so and showing you how to do it slightly more properly. Like, I'm more of a tweaker than anything else. That sounded like I do drugs. I'm more of a person who can help tweak somebody's current system and make it better and just make improvements. You should see the difference between the podcasts that were being produced in Fort Wayne before I got there versus now. Like, Jalen out there is doing great. I mean, she's able to basically produce the podcast to make it look like I'm producing it. And, I mean, there's some framing things or, like, minor details, but last time I didn't have to adjust the lighting. That's a huge improvement from 2 or 3 episodes ago where it's, I had to adjust everything to try to fix it. This looked great in camera, and that is how I like to shoot, and that's how I think everybody should shoot. You don't want to rely on, in post, having to edit things and make it look better, so you make it look good right then and there on the camera screen. So if that's anything anybody is interested in, I am available for helping your home setup in terms of video, audio production. I don't know how this became a commercial, but if we're doing a commercial, I also opened a members only section, which Jessie is the only one watching this, and she's the only member. So thanks, Jessie. But anybody else wants to hop in there, I am going to be uploading stuff, and I'm going to be moving stuff to the members only section. Like, I think I might move a lot of the old vlog stuff there, because you must really be interested if you want to watch vlogs from 2015. So if you're that interested, you'd pay. I just don't. Whatever. Anyways, let's see here. It would be a long drive. I think you're 5 hours away from me. I'm not exactly down the street. Okay, well, let me mention this. I am available for video calls if you want to try to have me help look at, like, tell me what camera you have, options for lighting, like what you're trying to film. Send me a clip of something that you filmed that you're like, this is one I want to improve, and I could at least look at one that you've done already and say, here's what I would do differently. And maybe that would at least give you a starting point. If you have any interest in that, that's free. That's just advice. So, just hit me up. I'm still finishing the beer. God. I don't like the sitting in the rocking chair. I don't think it's sustainable for long periods of time or very professional looking. Do you get hit with copyright stuff if you play music on here? Because I feel like this could be used as like a radio show, couldn't it? Couldn't you just come on and do like radio where you play music? Or is it like then you're using the music to draw viewers in? If I could just make some musical suggestions, please add your top 5 artists of all time in the chat. I would love to hear what anybody else likes musically. Top artists, I would have to say Just Jack is my favorite artist. And then probably Childish Gambino. And a current favorite is Ray Bull, like somebody that's brand new. Well, not brand new, last couple of years. But I really, really dig their new album, The New Thing Dies. And let's see, who else would I say I listen to a lot? More Than a Woman by the Bee Gees might be one of my favorite songs, but the Bee Gees are not one of my favorite artists. I do like disco, though. That Saturday Night Fever soundtrack is one of the best albums of all time. What else? What else do I listen to a lot? Let me just check my playlist here. See what I got. Oh, did you listen to Just Jack, Jesse? I recommend... I mean, I don't even know where to start there. I really like some of the acoustic stuff. I like a few of the songs on the new album. Not all of them are like my jam, but like there's the sweet spot was really like the overtones, all night cinema era, like in that ballpark. What was it called? God, the album that he did that we used a lot of the songs at our wedding. Let's see, let me find it real quick. It was called... Why won't it show me what it was called? Oh, What We Did Today. Check out Just Jack, What We Did Today. That album should be able to play through pretty much straight through. And then Laughing and Crying is a great one. The Ford Lane Versions album is great. And his new album is pretty good too. I really like Android's Lament and a few other songs on there. Wasp in a Coke Can is a good one. But also, like I said, Rabel is a really good band. I really dig their stuff. Let's see, what else do I listen to a lot? I mean, I spend most of my time listening to a radio show from 20 years ago, if I'm honest. I still listen to the Ricky Gervais show. If you go on Spotify, RSK XFM is a show on there, and it is just the most entertaining shit that I can listen to over and over again. I'm probably on my, I just looped back around on it again for the 5th time on Spotify. RSK space XFM. And don't start on the first Series 0. Start on Series 1. Once Ricky and Steve get given Carl as their producer, he just comes up with the most ridiculous stuff, and it's so entertaining to listen to. It feels like I have friends around. Like any time I'm not filming something, editing something, talking to somebody, watching something, I am listening to that podcast because it fills the void and it stops my brain from wandering. So if I could ever make a recommendation, it would be that. It is just the best. And there's so many hours of it, of just inane nonsense. I aspire to that level of shit. Okay, so Saturday Night Fever soundtrack. What else do I have on here? Obviously, the Lost soundtrack. Little Mermaid. A band called Harvey and an album called Earthworms. You should check that out. It's really good. Yeah, that's about it. And then Asteria, of course, my brother's band. I don't know if you've ever heard of Asteria. There's a song called The Taste, the Touch, but it's like pop punk emo. It was good shit, and it was a fun time touring with them. And one of these days, I'll make an Asteria documentary. But for now, let's see. What does anybody else have anything else on here? I don't know. I think I'm gonna end this because it's been a while. Wait, hold on. I have texts. The wife is hungry and cold. That makes sense. She's been out there all freaking day. Yeah, again, musical recommendations. Listen to Rabel. It is just like so mellow and it's just good jams. Let's see. Let me finish this beer so I can get out of here. I did get on here for the sake of St. Patrick's Day shit. Yes, Rabel. You spelled it exactly right. 2 words, Rabel. I would recommend if you're on Instagram, Jesse, go on their Instagram because that's where I discovered them. I really like their interesting way of promoting their songs. They would do catchy visuals to some of their stuff. Like they had one where they were like sitting in a tub and like it was just their face and they had their earpods in and then water's just pouring on them and they're singing the songs blinking through the water. And it's just like, it caught my eye. And then the songs just, like they kept, each of their reels would be like the same part of the song or whatever. And it just was so catchy that it just burned into my brain. And Michelle and I just jam out to that shit all the time. On on April 10th, the day before my birthday, we're going to the Rabel concert in Chicago, and I cannot wait because I'm hoping it's like the first Childish Gambino concert I went to, where it was very sparsely attended. I want to be on the forefront of underground shit like that, where it's like nobody else really knows about this band, but like I said, the Instagram is very entertaining, and the music itself is very good. I mean, Love is Hate, what a great song. It is such a jam. And then I'm just going to read you my favorite Rabel songs right now because it's you need to know them. Let's see. Let me go to my Rabel playlist that I made off Apple Music. And then we got The New Thing Dies, Know By Now, amazing song with some sort of flute thing that I love. Never, Complicated. The second verse of Complicated is so confusing to me, but I like it for the fact that you don't expect the dude to be saying it. Go Home was one that took a while to grow on me. I felt like the chorus was too repetitive, but now I love the shit out of it. There's a part in the bridge that's just one of the most melodic and like catchy things ever. Name Something Better is a great chill song. Love is Hate. Polish Sausage Sister #3. Tell Me I'm a Fool. That song is, I love it. I don't know what they're doing, but I love it. Better Than Nothing is great, and Some Kind of Light. Like, those are my Rabel picks at the moment. And then I'm going to go listen to Rabel and get off of this podcast. Get off of this live stream. I can't really do music at the beginning and end of this, can I? Oh, I can. I could just play my music off my phone, I think. You know what? We'll end it with Rabel. And then I'll be back again at some point. No worries. DONTEVA, Don't Have a News. No, that's not this. Joel Henderson checking off. That sounded bad. Joel Henderson, the episode is done. Like the live stream is done, okay? This is going to play in my hearing aid. I just know it. Anyways, check out Rabel because they're awesome.